Hey guys, Chris Serino here from the Sultana Education Foundation. Today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about stone tools, projectile points and spear points that were manufactured by the Native Americans here in the Mid-Atlantic region. So how do you go from raw material to something as beautiful and as effective as this tool right here? Okay, so to make one of these beautiful stone points, it was a kind of a long process that actually involved a lot of different tools. One thing you definitely would have wanted if you were flint knapping or knapping as it were, would be something to cover your hand because you're going to be striking rocks and making sharp flakes fly off throughout this process. So what you would start with would be a piece of raw material. This is a nice chunk of jasper. Jasper could be mined from Delaware. There are certain parts in Maryland where you could get this, and that's the first step, is to acquire a large piece of raw material. And then what you need to do is start breaking this down or reducing this rock down to the tool that you want. So you're going to start with a large implement like a hammerstone, which might look like this, to basically work from a central point out and start smacking this stone and breaking it strategically off to the side. So you might use a hammerstone or a large piece of bone or antler, and this is called percussion flaking. I'm striking this stone strategically, I'm breaking large chunks off, and I'm reducing the stone. Then I'm going to move on down the line. So let's say that we've finished stage one. We're going to move to a smaller striking tool. So this is a piece of antler here, and here's my piece of jasper. You can see it's been reduced probably by about half. And again, I'm going to keep working from that central point and, breaking pieces off by striking it. And again, this is called percussion flaking. So I'm percussion flaking around, I'm working both sides, and I'm trying to start to get that edge to form, that sort of serrated edge around the tool. Again, as the stone continues to be reduced, it gets a little flatter. And this is the trick, really, to really get that thing nice and thin. So again, I have now a smaller piece of an antler, and I'm still percussion flaking here. I'm not actually going to do this because if I was really going to do this, there'd be sharp shards flying everywhere. I'd want a pair of goggles. So let's pretend we moved on, and now I've got what archaeologists might call a preform. It's nice and reduced. It's got a nice sharp edge. It's pretty flat. This might actually have uses in and of itself to scrape hides, to scale fish, but we're going to keep reducing it. And now I'm going to shift from percussion flaking, which is striking, to pressure flaking. And in this method, again, I need my leather here to cover that hand. I'm going to put the stone on my leather pad, and I'm going to put pressure using the tip of this antler and flake again out from the center, working both sides to get down to that nice sharp edge. And eventually, if you're good at this, and the physics work in your favor, and you have good materials, and everything goes just right, you get down to a beautiful finished product like this. Look at how beautiful that edge is, that point. And then this would be, of course, tied to a shaft to make either a knife or perhaps a spear. So at the end of this process, what you're going to end up with, hopefully, is a beautiful stone implement like this. And then the byproducts that you create are going to be these flakes. So if you're out there looking for arrowheads, a lot of times what you find instead are flakes of that lithic material, that raw material, jasper in this case. So these are authentic artifacts that were found here in Kent County, and you can kind of see that. You can see pieces that are a little bit raw and not quite polished all the way down. You can see this piece right here that's kind of been worked to an edge but not really flattened. Let's see, there's a piece of iron here where you can really see a nice edge. So that's a little bit about how these tools were made. It took a lot of practice. It took a lot of expertise. It took an understanding of physics. It took the right materials. But once that was made, this was a great tool for you here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Thanks for watching today. Hope you all have some fun adventures out on the Eastern Shore.